Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're back. We're live. We have Eryk Anders on the line. Eryk, I want to thank you for coming to the Fight House, man. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, appreciate you guys for having me.
Yeah, man. So how's everything been? How's everything going?
Man, can't complain, can't complain. Just hopped off the mat, doing a little training. Come talk to you fine, gentlemen.
Ah, nice, man. Well, we're glad to have you, man. Yeah, you're coming off. You had a really good debut with LFA. Couldn't have gone any smoother than it did. What did you think about the debut? Was it everything you thought it was going to be? Did it go the way you wanted?
I think anytime you can go in there and get a first round victory, a TKO, finish a guy without taking any damage at all, I think that's a pretty good showing. So I think I did really well with my showing, and waiting on the next one now.
Well, what is the next one? Do you got anything planned? Anything coming forward? What's next?
Man, I've been offered that Brendan Allen fight. We're just waiting on contracts and everything to be finalized, and that one should be a go.
Oh, you're gonna end up in the cage with Brendan.
Yes, sir.
Nah.
I mean, like I said, we're waiting on contracts and stuff like that. But as soon as it comes to me, it'll be signed, sealed, and delivered within 24 hours. So it'll be on him to sign the contract as well.
Ooh. What's that one? Is that going to be just a fight? Is that going to be for? Because I know there's only a handful of you guys sitting right at the top of the division right now as middleweights. There's you, Giles, Brendan Allen, and Ian from the other side there. He fights this Friday. What is this going to be for a title? What is it going to be, a contender fight?
Nothing official yet. Hopefully that belt will be on the line, and I'm quite confident I'll walk away with that belt around my strap if it's for the belt.
That's a real good fight, man. That's a real step up in competition for you. Brendan's 7-1. His only loss coming to Trevin Giles. How do you feel like you match up with him in that fight?
I feel like I match up very well with Brendan Allen. I think he's a bit stiff, not very explosive, slow twitch, has a soft body. Skilled opponent, don't get me wrong, but I think I come out of there with another first round victory.
It's kind of, he's got a lot more experience than you do. I think in the cage, if you include his amateur experience, I think he's got something like 13 or 14 amateur fights. Do you believe that? Obviously, I mean, you believe you're going to win, but is it your athleticism you think is going to take you over the top? Because he's probably got a little bit more experience as far as like his MMA training.
Well, man, I had 23 amateur fights.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and 7 professional fights.
Right.
So yeah, he may have been doing it longer, but as far as cage experience and cage time goes, I'm definitely have more than him. So, and a lot of my matches and fights and whatnot, and early, not too many even go to a decision. So,
true story.
Like I said, I'm to keep that track alive and get me another victory.
I apologize for not knowing that stat, man. I usually use Tapology,
No worries.
and they didn't have that up there, so I apologize for that. But yeah, it's one I'm really looking forward to. How do you see it ending? Like, do you feel like that's another early night for you, or are you feel it could go the distance?
I believe Brendan Allen will be my first real knockout, go stiff, go limp knockout. I'm not really looking to go in there and get. I'll take a victory any way I can get it, submission, TKO. But with the way he stands and fights. The way he stands and fights, I believe that he's not going to be able to take too many to the face, and believe that he'll be knocked out in the first round.
I've talked to him before, and he didn't hold your skill in much regard. Do you think that could be a downfall for him?
I mean, that's on him. How he prepares for a fight is how he's going to prepare for this fight. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I know that I'm preparing for him as though he's the best in the world. So. He better be ready to come fight time.
Have you had your eye on him for a while? Because I remember you guys had a little interaction on Twitter there maybe like a month ago, maybe a little longer than a month ago. Is this a guy that you've had your eye on for a while?
Man, I don't have my eyes on anybody, just on the next guy. So whoever's name comes across on that contract, that's who I got on my mind. There really wasn't much of a Twitter beef or whatever. I said that I got to get in line. I guess, he's the next one in line. So, like I said, I wanted to fight for the belt. Hopefully we're fighting for the belt. And, looking to walk away with the belt around my waist.
It's an interesting time to be a middleweight right now, especially because you also have the tough tryouts coming up. I think they're like May 23rd or something like that. Is that something you'll be considering?
Yeah, I'm considering it. Just kind of weighing my options, see which one's a better opportunity for me. Not out of the question, but I'm really looking forward to stepping in that cage hopefully in my home state of Texas. So we'll see.
What one's the better opportunity for you as far as you're concerned, the title fight or the opportunity at the Tough House?
Man, I think they're both excellent opportunities.
Sure.
Usually the title holders for Legacy make their way onto the UFC.
Definitely.
I think there'll be a little bit more work involved with, the Ultimate Fighter. I have to fight 3 times or a few times, or however many times. I have to cut weight a bunch of times. But I think the overall experience will be really fun and really something that I would look forward to doing. So, like I said, me, my manager, Jason House, and my head coach, Chris Tomlin, are kind of at the round table right now, kind of trying to figure out what's the best opportunity and which one makes the most sense for us.
Are they both?
Sorry, go. Both.
Sorry?
And maybe possibly both.
Yeah, because I think. When would they be targeting a fight with you and Brendan?
Hopefully in June.
June.
Yeah, I think the tryouts are in May, and then sometime in June, hopefully me and Brendan can get in there and do the dance.
Nice. Were you surprised when it came up as Brendan being the option and not like Trevin Giles, for instance, who's 9-0, finished 8 guys? Like, it was kind of thought for a long time that he would just kind of dance. He was kind of the for sure thing for the vacant title, and then his contender was kind of up for grabs.
Like I said, I'm not really concerned with whose name comes across on that contract. I'm signing contracts with anybody's name on it, so it really doesn't matter to me. Trevin Giles, Brendan Allen. That Ian guy that you mentioned earlier, it's totally irrelevant to me. Anybody who comes across, anybody who gets offered to me, that's all I do is sign contracts. So, definitely.
I like it. When you're obviously now, it seems as though anyway, like you're a matter of a step, regardless of which direction that goes, away from the UFC. Is that something you got your eye on? Is like how are you feeling about that? As it kind of gets a little bit closer, as that vision becomes a little bit more tangible?
Yeah, the UFC is the pinnacle of the sport. A lot of people they come to me and say, "Oh, you do that UFC fighting." But the best analogy that I can use is that the UFC is the NFL of MMA. So if MMA is the sport, then the UFC is the highest that you can go. I look to get in there sooner or later. I just feel like I won't be able to be denied with my record. My opponents are getting better. I'm still going to be finishing people. So eventually they're not going to be able to say no, and I'll get my opportunity.
Sometimes I feel like the explosiveness and athleticism is kind of looked past a little bit. You aren't the first guy to make the transition over from high-level football into MMA. How do you feel like those skills translate? What is it about them that translates so well into the cage?
Well, man, my whole life I've been developing short area quickness, explosive, powerful movement, moving guys in and out. I think they translate, relatively well. And, that's not the only thing I rely on. I just don't go out there and out-athleticize people. I go in there. The thing in my game that I think people underestimate and don't realize is accuracy. I don't throw a lot of my punches that I throw don't miss. A lot of them are left hands, and if that left hand hits you too many times or even once, that could be the end of your night.
Is that how you kind of see things going with Brendan? You feel like he's not going to be able to take that shot once you land it?
No, he's definitely not going to be able to take that. Not with the chin he has. I'm not sure if his chin's been tested, but he fights with his chin up, his chin out, too much space in between his hands. So he's got a lot of stuff to correct before he gets in there with me if he wants the chin.
When you look at his skill set, is there anything that you're more leery of than something else, or something you're like, okay, I got to keep my eye on that, like he does that really well? Or what is it about his game that you think kind of poses the challenge for you?
Man, I don't think it's any secret that the best skill set that he has is his ground game, his submission game. I'm not really sure. I think he's 6-1, right? 7-1?
Yes, 7-1.
And a lot of those, I know I've seen him fight as an amateur as well. He likes that rear naked choke a lot. So I'm quite comfortable on the ground with anybody. So, like I said, I think I have a better skill set there as well.
What do you think that he's going to you talked about people underestimating your accuracy, but is there a quality that you possess that you feel like he's not going to have a full grasp of until he gets in there and then he's going to realize?
I'm very patient. I wait for my opportunity and I take advantage of it. Him, he's a little emotional. He gets hit, he's going to shake his head, let you know that you didn't do any damage, which lets me know that it hurt. So
they always say that.
Take his head off once. He's going to get emotional as soon as he gets touched. He'll start charging in and whatnot, trying to get it to the ground. But I'm gonna be ready for all that.
Is that going to be a plan of yours to try to exploit? Like, I mean, obviously you don't want to give me too much of your game plan, but is that going to be a bit of your plan to just exploit that that lack of patience, that emotional involvement?
I really don't have game plans when I get in there.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of shut the brain off and just react and take what he gives me. He gives a lot, so there'll be plenty on the table for me to take advantage of.
And if you decide to go the tough route, is living in a house with 16 dudes, does that kind of how are you going to be able to handle that mentally? Like you said, there's a lot of weight cuts involved and stuff like not that I don't think you can handle it, but do you feel like you'll be able to compete at your highest level while you're in those kind of conditions?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The more pressure I'm under, the better I perform, I feel like, and I honestly and truly believe that when it comes down to fighting and anything, I'll have the mental edge on anybody I ever fight at any given time in my career. So,
why do you say that?
Guys are doing it, I'm gonna do it better than they're doing it.
Why do you feel like you'll have the mental edge? What is it about your preparation?
I'm just totally confident in my preparation. Like, I know how to cut the weight. I work hard. I'm up at 4:30 in the morning doing my work. From 4:30 to 10 o'clock at night, I'm working, doing something, coaching, training, teaching, doing something involving MMA. So I know the mental reps are there, the physical reps are there. My conditioning is always on point. My nutrition is always on point. I just don't see a whole lot of guys having a mental edge on top of it.
You come from you were a national champion with Alabama. That comes with a spotlight in itself. Do you feel like spending those years like under the spotlight of playing NCAA Division I football that kind of gives you an advantage when it comes to the cameras in the face and like the pressure mounting and the crowds and all those different things? Do you feel like that you have an advantage in those situations?
Absolutely. It's not. It won't be the first time I've had a camera in my face. It's not the first time I've done an interview. It's not the first time I've been under pressure. My whole life has kind of been, me learning along the way how to deal with those things. And now I'm at the point where it doesn't affect me. It doesn't matter. Whatever. I'm ready for it. Like, adversity doesn't bother me too much. So even if I do get in a bad spot in the fight, mentally I've been there already. 'Cause I do a lot of, visualization type stuff, seeing the fight happen before it happens. And, so there's not a situation that I'm going to be in that I'm not going to be ready for.
What types of things have you visualized to this point when you sit down and you kind of play this through your head? Hello? Do we still have Eryk on the line?
Hey, sorry about that, Jason. What was that?
No, I said, what kind of outcomes have you visualized to this point in your head when you started thinking about this fight as it gets now that you've got it or you're waiting on the contracts? What have you seen this
how it going down?
Like I said, I saw him going down in less than 3 minutes with a knockout, not a TKO, but a knockout, unconscious. In this fight, victory for myself.
The funny thing about the conversation is that I actually asked him like I think it was like a month ago. I had talked to him about when I had seen the stuff on Twitter. I had talked to him and I said to him like what he thought about your skill set, and he said almost word for word what you said. He said he's not athletic enough. Yeah. He's rigid in his stand up.
Like I said, he's a little emotional. So whatever. What I speak is fact and truth. He's probably just saying that just because there's no way that he can truly believe in his heart of hearts that he's going to knock me out.
Fair enough.
Maybe if he would say he's going to submit me, maybe he truly believes that, but there's no way that he believes that he's going to knock me out or even beat me in the first place.
Fair enough. Listen, man, I want to thank you for coming and spending some time with us today, and you're always available, and I really, really appreciate that, man. And I'm so glad to hear that this fight's going to happen. It's what I've been looking forward to for a while. So good luck in your preparation, man, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the cage.
I appreciate you having me on the show, man, anytime.
All right, thanks a lot. All right, Eryk, you have yourself a great night, man.
You have a good one, Jason.
All right, buddy. Later.